right, man. Let's talk about the Lions' injury. So apparently, you got an update on Gibbs, Rackst, and Terrion, Arnold, and Carlton Davis. So we start off with the bad. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. So apparently, Carlton Davis, corner they got from the Bucks, who's often injured and missed time, out with a hamstring. So yeah, he out with a hamstring injury. That's something to think about real quick, fast, in a hurry. No soft tissue injuries, hurting guys, and those tend to happen, to extremely athletic guys. Tend to happen when you might be a little bit out of shape. Might happen if you didn't warm up properly, or your muscles not where they're supposed to be, or just from the strenuous grind of training camp. So yeah, so to be honest, yeah, that it can happen just that fast. So, already starting off on a bad foot. So, a position of strength that we felt like we upgraded. Now it's a position of strength, the DBs. I mean, now you got a bunch of guys like Kendall Vidor, Stephen Gilmore, out there trying to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So, but nonetheless, this injury bug usually hit one position or one side of the ball. So, at the end of the day, he wasn't at practice I think Tuesday. So that kind of raised some concerns. So, I mean, them type of injuries, if you don't allow them to heal and get proper rest, they can come back to bite you in your ass, and they can come back, you can re-aggravate it. So that's one thing you got to look about them hamstring issues. They can become a lingering problem if they don't heal properly. So, it's not like a sore ankle. With a sore ankle or a mild ankle sprain or even a high ankle sprain, those are really, really bad too. But, them hamstrings, you re-pull it or something, it's tough. So, Carlton Davis, he dealing with a hamstring. And then we had, somebody else is dealing with it. Oh, Jahmyr Gibbs, they said he'd be ready week 1. He dealing with a hamstring issue. He had a couple in this past. It's kind of like a reoccurring theme. So, for him, he had one last season. Somebody told me he had another one in his career. I don't know if it was college or another time in the NFL, but, trying to figure out what's wrong with that. I remember when I was in college, they had this machine that targeted your hamstrings. You climbed up somewhere and they had it on top of something. You got up there and it was just designed for a single leg thing. I don't know if he gonna do some certain exercises or whatever the situation may be. But yeah, stay hydrated, stretch it out, whatever. And if they really say, I was hearing one of the dudes, he do a lot of work with some NFL players. He said you really ain't supposed to stretch your foam roll unless you have tightness or some soreness in a particular area on the body. He said you really not supposed to. His athletes don't use foam rollers and don't warm up. So I found that very interesting. I forget kind of the ideology or whatever, his background about it, but us just talk, especially playing sports, we was talking to warm up and limber. Remember on Zombieland where he told him, he was like, does a lion, stretch before he about to go, make his kill, or limber up. That junk was funny. The first Zombieland. The second one was cool too. First one's a classic. But yeah, so Gibbs will be ready week 1. He got about 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks away, right? So what we got? Yeah, about 3 or 4 weeks away. So he'll be ready. So it's good to see. He's a huge part. He's probably the biggest name out of all of them that people are concerned about. But then they got the cavalry at running back. You still got David Montgomery, Craig Reynolds. What's the other guy's name? You got the VD guy from from Utah. Who knows? He might take the ball off and run with it. You just never know. So, they got other options to hold it down if he ain't. But apparently, Dan Campbell said it ain't that serious. So, really, I remember a lot of veteran running backs didn't even play in the preseason. And they probably just, allowed them to kind of ease through training camp as much as possible. But, continuing on, then you got Terrion Arnold. He had a pec injury, he had a chest injury. I know we had Chauncey Gardner-Johnson last year, tears pec. Apparently Terrion had a pec injury. I don't know what's going on in the Lions facilities and DBs and pec injuries. So maybe they need to get in the weight room and hit the chest a little bit more heavier in the DB room. But yeah, he expected to be training camp week 1. So he expected to be there week 1. He just gonna miss those reps in training camps. Possibly, I don't know if his training camp is over with. They just said he'd be ready week 1. So them reps in training camp that he'd be a little bit behind going into week 1. You got to ask yourself, are they just going to go with maybe Amick Robertson on the outside, Carlton Davis get healthy, him on the outside, and maybe, right now, just maybe move Brian Branch back to nickel and put Melifanu and Kirby Joseph at corner? Or they going to just let Terrion Arnold go out there and just roll, Terrion, Carlton, Amick in the nickel, Branch back at safety, Kirby at the other safety. So it'll be interesting to see how they evaluate him when he coming back. So, obviously with a pec injury, he'll be able to do some conditioning, some jogging, whatever. So I want to know if his training camp over with, or he's still going to be able to get those physical and mental reps going forward. So I think that's a great question. So and then I think Ennis Rackst was on Instagram Live, and basically he got a mild ankle sprain. So they'll probably manage that. And if Terrion and Carlton Davis was down, then him and Amick the next guy up to start on the outside. So they lost Mosley. Davis got a hamstring. Arnold got a pectoral muscle issue. So yeah, you got some guys that's dinged up. So it's gonna be some opportunity for Stephen Gilmore, Vitor, and now Rackst with his injury, and some of them other younger guys to step up and make an imprint out there. So, and Amick Robertson, you got to ask yourself at this point, do we even chance playing Amick Robertson, the rest of the preseason? I would say no. That's just my humble opinion. I don't think Goff played the last preseason either. But yeah, Rackst said he good, some mild ankle, so let them DBs heal. Camaraderie-wise, they'll be a little bit behind rep-wise, but the best experience is actually getting out there and practice and getting them reps together. So we'll see how they go. But hey, check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Spotify. Check out my other channel right here on YouTube, Goodfella TV. That link's in the link tree. Peace.